Upper Room Life. You're certainly in for a surprise. We got some guests and some God and some good times. It's the Upper Room. Upper Room Life. You're certainly in for a surprise. We got some guests and some God and some good times. It's the Upper Room. It's the Upper Room. It's the Upper Room Live.
Hello everybody, how are you? Hope you've had a really good week and I hope you've enjoyed the sun today. Hasn't it been really hot? I have to say I have been outside quite a lot today, so you'll probably see my face slowly glowing red as we get on tonight. So most of you know who I am by now, but in case you're tuning in for the first time, my name's Rhiannon Hale, and in a minute you'll meet Woody or Reverend Matt or Matt, Woody, whoever you know him by. And together we go to St Barnabas Church in York, and we're running these Upper Room Live broadcasts just so that we can give you a little bit of an insight to God whilst lockdown is happening. So, sorry, I think I'm getting some feedback going on. So tonight is absolutely packed broadcasts with loads of videos, interviews, music, and loads of laughter. So Woody is the 100 miles an hour man. He's the guy that has 1,000 ideas every second, and he is the person that will make you laugh till your cheeks hurt. Here he is.
Hang on a minute. What, I think I need unmuting. Unmute me, damn it. What, I think it's Reverend Matthew, not Woody. Anyway, what do you think of this? What do you think of this hat, Rhiannon? It's my new summer hat. What do you think?
I'm a bit confused, to be honest, because I thought that was 10 years old.
Listen, these are back in fashion. My kids reckon I look like my granddad, and my wife reckons I'm too old for it. So that's what I'm wearing. But today I've just seen loads of hats and the smell of barbecues today. It's been fantastic. The sun's out. There's just something about the sunshine just makes everything feel loads better. It's lovely. It's lovely to be here again for another Upper Room Live. I'm really excited about tonight's broadcast. We've got loads of great things and a fantastic guest. My old boss, Aaron, who's going to talk about how struggle and faith, how they impact each other. And so I'm excited about everybody seeing that. And Rhiannon, you look ridiculously tanned.
Well, I did just say I have been out in the garden quite a lot of socially distant walking. Yeah, what have you been up to today?
Well, I've just been doing a bit of work. I've been for a walk round. I've just been in the garden. Yeah, I've just the big news in our house. We've got guinea pigs now. We've got Hermione and Ginny, so they are pooing and weeing everywhere. But that doesn't matter.
Like my kids, and also they sound like my worst nightmare. I hate animals. Sorry.
Well, you'll be looking after them next week. Anyway, the point is, we've seen a couple of videos that really made us laugh and cry this week, and you might have seen these on Facebook anyway. But just to get the broadcast started, we just thought we'd show you these. They just warmed our hearts. So can we roll that video?
Goedemiddag. U had een kopje koffie, zie ik. Ja, kan ik ook over u? Goed, alsjeblieft. Even kijken. En nu ook nog een glaasje water erbij. Geen probleem, alsjeblieft. Even kijken, u had daar ook nog een colaatje.
Oh, I just love that video, Rhiannon, with the female duck. Oh, it just I hope you all enjoyed that. I think you might all be roaring. Anyway, music is a big part of what we do on Upper Room Live and when we meet together. And I always challenge the band every week to play sort of spiritual, an out and out Christian spiritual song and something a bit more sort of left field. So I challenge them to play Let It Be by the Beatles tonight because it fits in with our theme. The line that Paul McCartney sings is, "When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me." And he's talking about his mum, we think, in this song, but it just got me thinking that actually, when we're in times of trouble as Christians, we turn to God and we call on Him. So hopefully it'll just get those spiritual juices flowing a bit. Here's Let It Be, PX and the Pioneers, the Upper Room Band. Go for it.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the
on, do it.
It's a great song. Yeah, you'll have to watch it again, Lise. Well, that was amazing. Thank you, band. I hope you enjoyed that. Let It Be. What a great song that is. And every time we do an Upper Room Live, we have a special in studio guest on the double screen. And tonight I couldn't think of anyone better than she's just the. I've never met anybody who laughs so often and so loudly as Lisa Whitley. Lisa, are you out there somewhere?
I'm here. Hello.
Brilliant. Well, welcome to the Upper Room Live, Lisa. Just tell everybody who you are and what you do, and a bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Lisa. I'm part of the Upper Room 20s to 40s group, and I work for the diocesan office, currently working from home. And in my spare time, I'm a volunteer for York Samaritans.
Wow. And I take it that's, I think you were saying that, you're getting lots and lots of people phoning in over lockdown and stuff. So you're doing an amazing job. So thank you so much for all that you and your team are doing, because I just can't imagine what it's like for a lot of people who are stuck. But for you yourself, Lisa, just tell us about your lockdown. How's it been?
Well, not too bad. I live on my own, so at first I thought I was going to really struggle because I'm quite social as well. But I bought a bike, and I've been doing quite a bit of walking, and I've discovered areas of this city that I didn't even know existed. So I've been doing quite a bit of cross-country stuff. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. So I'm doing all right.
Have you always been somebody who's just laughs all the time, ever since you were a little lass?
Yeah, I think yeah, people would agree with that. I do tend to laugh when I'm nervous, when I'm sad, and when I'm happy. So I suppose sometimes it'd be hard to figure out which one it is, but you can probably tell. But yeah, I'm quite half glass full. Sorry.
Well, in a minute you're going to hear Lisa, you're going to see Lisa laughing like you've never seen anyone laugh before. Because I set her a challenge. Every week we set our in-studio guests a challenge. But to really get to know a person, we need to ask them the chocolate and crisps game. So Lisa, are you ready? Just answer. I want an answer, a quick answer. First one that comes into your head. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Lisa Whitley, chocolate or crisps?
Crisps.
Pineapples or mangoes?
Pineapples.
Mornings or evenings?
Mornings.
Coronation Street or Emmerdale?
Emmerdale.
A night at the bingo or a night at the pictures?
A night at the pictures.
A reviving power shower or a long soak in a candle-filled bath?
A reviving power shower.
Singing hymns or singing Rick Astley songs?
Oh, that's the hardest one yet. Rick Astley singing hymns.
Oh, good. Spending the rest of your life stuck on a desert island with Ant or Deck?
Or Deck. Deck 100%.
Deck. Last question. Praying at home or praying at church?
Praying at church.
Brilliant. Well, hopefully it won't be too long, Lise, before we're all back in there. Thank you so much for that. It's absolutely brilliant. So I challenged Lisa. Well, she'll tell you what the challenge is. But we had this massive pineapple at home, and so somehow I've got Lisa to get a pineapple and to try and balance a pineapple on her head for 10 seconds without laughing. I didn't think it would be possible. Let's see if it is. This is Challenge Lisa. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, bye. Hi, my name's Lisa Whitley, and I've been challenged to hold this pineapple on my head for 10 seconds without laughing. Here we go. Right, come on, you can do it. Oh, my head. Oh, my head. Right, come on, you can do it. Right, come on, you can do it. Right, come on, you can do it. Oh, my head. Yes. 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 Challenge done. Challenge complete.
Have you got your pineapple?
Yeah.
Hi, Rhiannon. Great to see you again. That was brilliant, Lisa, and she did it. She did it. I mean, technically she was laughing, but let's face it, I just think her face is setting a permanent laugh. But Rhiannon, you've got a pineapple there, haven't you? And I challenged you early. See if you can do it.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I've got a wonky pineapple. And can I just say, sorry if I was pixelated before. I've just changed my internet, so hopefully it works better now. Right, I'll have a go. But
Right, 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3. She's a natural. Look at that. Whoa, you've got
That
skills.
is really hard.
Right, so boys and girls out there, all try the pineapple challenge and send us in your videos. We'd love to see you. Anyway, so Rhiannon, what's happening next?
Yeah, so we've got someone called Aaron, who Woody said about earlier. He's really inspirational to listen to, and when you listen to him now, Woody's done an interview with him. His words, honestly, will just absolutely ring true to you. So here he is.
Hi, my name.
Well, welcome to the big interview. This is Upper Room Live's big interview, and I couldn't think of anyone better to talk about the subject that we're talking about tonight than my good friend and former boss, Aaron Aurora, a man who was nicknamed the Pitbull when I worked for him at the Archbishop's media office, and a man who was so brutal. I learned so much from this guy. I once worked on this piece of work all day, and I was so proud of it. And I said, Aaron, what's this like? And he went, Matt, do you want me to be honest? I said, yes. He went, it's terrible. Do it again. So this man, I welcome it. He's not a pit bull now. He's a Bambi. Aaron, welcome to the big interview. How are you doing?
I'd like to say it's good to see you. No, actually, it is. It is. It's really good to see you, and good to see you in such fine form.
And just tell us a little bit about yourself, Aaron.
So I'm a Brummie boy, born and bred in Birmingham. Started off working in the family business on the markets in Birmingham city centre. I remember interviewing someone once, and they said, "So tell me something about yourself." And I said, family business, working on the markets. He said, stocks or bonds. I said, no, mate, not those kind of markets. Ladies' clothes, $2.99.
I wouldn't expect anything less, and I'm surprised that Aaron still speaks to me, because when part of our job we had to go and film Desmond Tutu in his hotel room, right? Greatest, one of the greatest Christians ever lived. So we were very, very excited, and we said, right, I'll get a photo of you. You get a photo of me. We'll ask him right at the end of the interview. Anyway, we did. Aaron got this beautiful picture of me with my thumbs up with the Archbishop, and I knackered the camera. There's just this one of Aaron looking really blurred with him.
Blurred with eyes closed, I think. I seem to remember, Matt, was the picture you took of me. So
you won the chance for your picture. But somebody like Tutu, our theme tonight, Aaron, we're looking at struggle, okay? And loads of people at the moment are struggling for loads of reasons. Lockdown, economically, can't see family. It seems to me that the Christian life isn't, we're not immune to struggles like anybody else. And you've had your struggles in life. I just want to talk a bit about that and about actually how your faith practically helps or has helped with those struggles. I think it's a big important issue for people, this.
I think, Matt, there's struggle, and then there are those times when struggle gets so bad it leads to brokenness. So there's everyday struggle. There's can't pay the bills. There's relationship issues. There's things like that, and then there are moments that really push you over the edge. The kind of could be a redundancy, could be a bereavement, could be a relationship breakup. Those moments that tend to be life defining when you come to think of your life or someone else's. And one of the things, Matt, that I've learned in those moments of brokenness, in those moments of personal brokenness, is that it's in those times that I have come to know God deepest and most. So, Matt, you'll know that there's the Beatitudes or the Sermon on the Mount, when Jesus first really speaks and teaches early on in his ministry. And he begins that by saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." And what he's saying there, one of the alternate translations, are, "Blessed those who struggle. Blessed are those who struggle." Or another alternate translation, "Blessed are those who know their need of God." And what I've always taken from that is, blessed are those who are broken. Blessed are those who realise the limits of self-sufficiency. Blessed are those who realise they can't figure it out by themselves or can't do it by themselves. Blessed are those who know failure. Blessed are those who know struggle. Because I think it's in those moments when you realise the kind of moments that colloquially we'd say, the kind of things that bring you to your knees. It's in those moments, I think, that I have always found myself closest to God, because I'm stripped away from all the other things that I'd seek to rely on. My own self-sufficiency, my own strength, my own skills. And I suddenly realise that none of those help when someone you love dies. None of those help when you are diagnosed with a really serious illness. The fact that you may be the most qualified PhD'd person in the world, that you could be the richest person in the world, you could be the smartest guy, best looking guy, whatever. When those moments hit, all of that gets stripped away. What you're left with is your own human mortality and brokenness and vulnerability. And it's in those moments, Matt, that I really, really, and sometimes moments of failure too. And it's in those moments that I find myself really, really close to God, and where my Christian faith is really at its deepest, because I learn what it is to utterly throw myself onto God, and for the fact that God doesn't love me for what I do or what I achieve, but He is with me at every moment.
And so someone watching this who's maybe on their knees, how do you come to God for the first time or get reacquainted with him? What does that practically look like, do you think? What would your advice be for someone who is struggling in that way?
Well, I know people would struggle in different ways, but for me, one of the ways in through the Bible has always been the book of Psalms. The reason for that is I think the Psalms are like the Christian blues. It's like anyone, I don't know if you're ever into blues music. One of the things about blues is you can feel rubbish, and someone will put on a blues tune, and in theory, you'd say, "Look, I'm already feeling rubbish. Don't play this dirge to me. It just made me feel worse." But actually, what blues music does is it tends to feel like there's someone alongside you. It tends to sum up the mood of your heart in a way that music can. And for me, the Psalms do that. So in times of personal failure, where I know I've either let God down really badly, or let myself, or someone I love, I turn to a psalm like Psalm 51, which is when King David, who was the man, absolutely the man, a man of whom God said, "Here is a man after my own heart." God says this of David, and then David messes up monumentally. sees a woman that he takes a massive liking to, figures out the husband's in the army, sends the husband off to get killed. Not before he slept with the wife. Not before he slept with her. Sends the husband off to get killed and then marries her. And he gets found out. And Psalm 51 is David's response to being found out. And basically it says, I'm utterly broken. I've utterly got it wrong. And it's a plea to God that just says, I am so sorry. I've really messed up. And I know I've messed up. And I think that's one of the ways. In the other psalm, I think will be Psalm 23, Matt, which for times of when people are ill, when times they're suffering, I think Psalm 23, which talks about God with us. It talks about, it's a familiar psalm to lots of people. The Lord is my shepherd. But what it really is about is God being with us every step of the way, even through the valley of the shadow of death. There's nothing more serious than that. And even at those moments, and within the current situation we're in, walking through the valley of the shadow of death is quite real to some people, to more people than it should be. And knowing that even in those moments, God never abandons us. He never lets us walk that path by ourselves or alone. But actually, he's with us. And that is a constant source, I think, of comfort, of hope, and of joy. And those three things I think we're all in need of: comfort, hope, and joy at this time. So, Matt, to someone who's struggling or someone who's going through hard times at this moment, I'd say go to God, read those Psalms, and begin that journey, which for me led to meeting Jesus Christ and my life being fundamentally different in what I understand the most important thing in life to be.
Aaron, I always feel really reassured when I hear you speak and talk to you, because you're just so honest about life and about human nature, and you, so thank you so much, and it's a real gift you've got with that, and I just, I think anybody watching this, just really take seriously what Aaron's saying there, because you can only ever be honest with God, because he knows all about us, and
absolutely right.
And once you realise he knows all about you, there's no hiding places. So and that's so liberating, and it's so liberating, Aaron, to hear your words today. And so thank you. And we hope we're praying for Aston Villa, and we hope they stay up. And so thank you. And a final word from Aaron Aurora, please.
Well, Matt, it's really, really good to see you, and thanks for the opportunity to just catch up and chat. Matt, I suppose my last thing would simply be this. When I was working in London in the Church of England, I was working with a couple of people who worked with the Archbishop of Canterbury, and they were saying, for your whole proposition, your whole message being a Christian, how would you sum it up in one line? What would be your tagline? What's your USP, your unique selling position, unique selling point? What is it, the one thing that you'd say? And what they came up with was, there's nothing better you can do in your life than to become a follower of Jesus Christ. Nothing better you can do with your life than become a follower of Jesus Christ. And that, the reason why I thought that was such a brilliant line is it absolutely rings true for me. I've had the privilege, Matt, of meeting heroes and presidents and prime ministers and rock stars and all that. And they've been amazing people. I mean, you meet Nelson Mandela and you wow. You meet Muhammad Ali and it's wow. You meet Desmond Tutu, you meet rock stars, you meet all of that. There is nothing better, Matt, in my experience, than anyone can do with their life than to become a follower of Jesus Christ. And that'd be it. That'd be my last word to you. Really good to see you. Love to Anna and the girls.
Thanks, Aaron. That was brilliant.
She's an absolute hero for putting up with you, Matt.
Right, get off now. I'm sick of you. Right,
All
see
right.
you later.
Bless you.
God
Cheers.
bless.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for that, Aaron. That was great. Isn't he really easy to listen to? So, I feel like I'm giving you a tour of my house tonight because we're now in a different room to hope that the internet works and that I'm not pixelated. So, sorry, everybody. I try and avoid videoing in this room because my husband's really messy. Anyway, we're going to move reading now, and it'll come up on screen, but if you great. And it's from 2 Corinthians 12, 9 to 10. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then I am content with my weaknesses, hardships, insults, persecution, and calamities. For when I am weak, I am strong." I think that version's really funny because the word calamities generally just makes me laugh. But what this verse is saying, that actually being a Christian doesn't mean that we're not going to go through hardship or that we're not going to have any struggles. But the verse says that God's grace is sufficient, so that God's grace is enough, and that actually he's with us in those tough times. And I think, like Aaron said in that interview, he said we can't do it by ourselves, and we don't have to because God's there. And he wants us to trust him and to stay close with him, so then we can experience that sort of strength that the verse spoke about. So I just want to encourage you that if you're in a moment of struggle, I just want to encourage you to just pray to him and pray for this kind of strength, and to just allow yourself to be sort of dependent on God, which I know is quite hard. So we're going to go back to Woody. What did you think of all of that, Woody?
Thanks for those words, Rhiannon. That's really helpful. And I liked Aaron's image of sometimes you just have to throw ourselves onto God, without any agendas or without any even knowledge of him. Sometimes you just have to take that risk and just throw yourself onto him. And often that's where we find him at his most profound and helpful in our struggles. We're gonna have another song now called "The Greatest Day." And it's a real sort of upbeat sort of song about happy days, and I hope it's been a happy day for everyone watching this. Just things to look out for. Look out for Dave Cockrell on the drums with his back, because he has to sit with his back to everyone because he's got to set up the drum kit in his front room. And look out for Pete's amazing electric guitar solo that he suddenly has managed to weave his way into that. So this is The Greatest Day.
Greatest day in history. Death is beaten, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. Yet across the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Happy day, you wash my sin away. No, happy day, I'll never be the same. Forever I can change. When I stand in that place, realize meeting face to face, I am yours, Jesus, you are mine. And this joy, perfect peace, every pain finally will cease. Celebrate, Jesus is alive. He's alive. And oh, happy day.
I think I'm still pixelated, you know.
Yeah, but nowhere near as bad.
Happy day. What a glorious day, what a glorious way that you have saved me. Oh, what a glorious day, what a glorious way. And oh, happy day, you wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never be the same. Forever I can say.
Well, that was absolutely brilliant. Thanks for that, everybody. And if you want the official PX and the Pioneers merchandise, they're available at all good retailers. Anyway, that was wonderful. You don't feel happier after that song. There's something wrong. So that was wonderful. Thank you. Every time we do one of these broadcasts, we want to encourage you to just pray, just to try praying maybe for the first ever time. And one of the ways we do that, we've just picked a lovely prayer here that's just based around this theme of struggle, and I think it's going to come up on the screen. So as I pray this, I just want you to invite you to say these words. Aaron mentioned in the interview about throwing ourselves onto God, and one of the key ways that we do that is through prayer. So maybe if you're in a situation or know someone who's in a situation where they just need to throw themselves onto God, to throw all their struggles at his feet, then maybe you need to pray this prayer with me now. So let's pray. Dear God, please give me strength when I am weak, love when I feel forsaken, courage when I am afraid, wisdom when I feel foolish, comfort when I am alone, hope when I feel rejected, and peace when I am in turmoil. Amen. Hope you found that helpful. If you want that emailed, if you want an email copy of that, then send us an email at upperroombarnabas@gmail.com, and we'll send that to you. Rhiannon, I'm interested, Rhiannon. So when you've had times of struggles in your life, how do you sort of throw yourself onto God?
Yeah,
What do you find helpful?
I think, like you're saying, just actually through prayer, and I've said this before, but I just find listening to worship songs just really helpful, because I think a lot of the worship songs are written from like verses in the Bible, so their words just pour over you, and I think that instantly makes you feel at peace. So yeah, throw yourself into worship and prayer. What about you?
Brilliant. Wine. No, I'm joking. No, yeah, I believe it or not, I have 10 minutes of quiet of on a morning. Just I've got this like audio reflection, and I just sit with my earphones in and just have 10 minutes, and I sort of calm myself, give him any struggles at the start of the day, and it just sort of sets me up lovely for the day. And then last thing at night, just offering a similar kind of prayer. And yeah, I just find that really, really helpful. So we're going to thanks for joining in with us, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this after the event. We hope you've had a lovely bank holiday Monday, even though it might feel strange, because every day for some people, not back at work and stuff with the kids at home, can feel a bit like a bank holiday. But we just want to encourage you, don't we, Rhiannon, just to sort of, hopefully you've had a good time and you've found this helpful, and we'd love to hear from you over the emails. and any feedback you might have. And we're going to be back again probably in a couple of weeks out with Rhiannon. And I think we're going to be interviewing a mother, a wonderful mother, and with her newborn baby. That's the plan for the next one.
And I've met the newborn baby when it was only 2 days old when I dropped some food off, and absolutely gorgeous.
Brilliant. So that'd be great. And just with that in mind, we are going to leave you with just something that I saw on Facebook the other day that somebody had sent me, and it kind of paints a picture of life after lockdown. You might have seen this, but this has got loads of babies in it, Rhiannon. So Rhiannon loves it.
It is hilarious.
So just enjoy this. Just sit back and enjoy and reflect on the life after lockdown. That one day we'll be all able to do this once more.
Yeah.
God bless you all, and we'll see you again soon.
See you
Sleep
next
well.
time.
Oh, Peru life, you're certainly in for a surprise. We got some guests and some God and some good times. It's the Upper Room. Upper Room life, you're certainly in for a surprise. We got some guests and some God and some good times. It's the Upper Room. It's the Upper Room. It's the